Good Tuesday morning, everybody. I'm Dave Furtado.
And I'm meteorologist Jefferson Donovan.
And welcome to Keep It Quick, your latest local news and weather, commercial free in about 18 minutes or less. We're going to jump right over to meteorologist Jefferson Donovan to talk the weather for today. Some rain chances, some rain possibilities. Are we looking at splash and dash kind of showers, or maybe a bit more prolonged?
Well, I would say that today it's certainly not a guarantee that anyone will be looking at precipitation. There is going to be a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms in our viewing area. That brings us right to our weather headline. Slim chances of showers and thunderstorms exist today. Not everybody will see anything. In fact, there's a better chance of not seeing something today than seeing some active weather. But again, slim chances of showers and thunderstorms do exist on this Tuesday. Going into Wednesday, there is a much better opportunity for showers and thunderstorms around a good portion of the viewing area. Again, still not a guarantee that you will be subject to showers and thunderstorms tomorrow, but better opportunities exist tomorrow than today. And then by the time we get to Thursday, for most of us, the weather is going to be on a calming trend. We will talk more about all three of these weather headlines coming up.
Thanks, Jefferson. We begin this morning in Kittitas County. A 21-year-old woman from Chattaroy in Spokane County is dead after crashing her car yesterday morning. State troopers say Elizabeth Lucas was westbound on Interstate 90 in the Easton city limits when she failed to negotiate a curve in the road, hit a Jersey barrier, and rolled into the median. Troopers say she died at the scene and was not wearing a seatbelt. No other vehicles were involved, and investigators aren't sure if drugs or alcohol were involved either. And over in Yakima County, a Selah man is heading to federal prison for 5 years after pleading guilty to possession of child pornography charges. Interim U.S. Attorney Pete Serrano says 61-year-old Kevin Lee Towner was sentenced to 5 years in prison to be followed by 10 years of supervised release. According to court documents, over 3,000 images of child porn were found in Towner's home. He admitted to using peer-to-peer file sharing to get those images. And a Toppenish woman is accused of stealing nearly $850,000 from a Yakima law firm. The woman is accused of pocketing money that clients at Talbot Law Firm put down as initial payments for legal services, and also writing checks to herself and her sisters. The firm became aware of the issue after getting an anonymous letter stating the woman was bragging about stealing the money from the firm. She's now charged with 5 counts each of first and second degree theft and 4 counts of first degree identity theft, along with other charges. The woman was arrested and then released on court supervision. And right now, an intense 2-day search is underway for murder suspect Travis Decker. He's accused of killing his 3 young daughters, and their bodies were discovered in early June near the Rock Island campground in the Cascade Mountains near Leavenworth. As KOMO's Michelle Esteban reports, this latest search is being led by the FBI.
FBI Seattle wants to assure the communities in Leavenworth and Wenatchee, as well as Chelan County and Washington State, that this case is a priority for the FBI.
It is about returning to the scene of the crime or where the young girls' bodies were found, all in hopes of finding Travis Decker. No indication still if he is dead or alive, but what we learned is that often in similar cases, the suspect may be close to the crime scene. We'll remind you the bodies of his daughters, Olivia, Evelyn, and Peyton, just 5, 8, and 9, were found near the Rock Island campgrounds in June. They died of suffocation.
Looking into similar cases, we found that historically and typically that you found the homicide suspect and those responsible within a quarter mile of the scene.
So from that point, a quarter-mile radius is where this search is happening right now for 2 days. We know there have been multiple searches here, but this time is different. They will do a step-by-step, boots-on-the-ground hand search of the area, a specific grid to make sure nothing was missed. There are 100 FBI personnel here and other agencies helping too. It is steep, rugged terrain, thick with brush, which means some searchers will be bushwhacking to get through that heavy brush, making sure nothing was missed on that initial search.
We would love to have Travis Decker in custody, standing in front of a judge. We recognize that at times these kind of investigations take time. It's going to take perseverance.
Decker remains the sole suspect. Recent DNA testing reaffirming that. Thousands of hours searching, countless miles of combing through terrain from the air and on the ground, even the launch of water teams and drones and canine units. How this will end remains unknown, but the motivation to keep searching is clear.
So we're doing what we can with the resources we have. We don't get frustrated, though. We're not going to give up. We understand this could take years, and we'll be here.
Now, the FBI is just leading the 2-day search, but the Chelan County Sheriff's Office is the lead agency. There is a $20,000 reward for information that leads to Decker's arrest. Tips can be made to the U.S. Marshal Service. A crowd of protesters gathered outside the ICE detention center in Tacoma calling for the release of Mohammed Zahid Chowdhury, whose wife Melissa Chowdhury is running for Washington's 9th district.
We have to demand his release. We have to demand his immediate citizenship, that he be given his citizenship. We have to demand the release of all immigrants who have been abducted and detained by ICE.
Now, members of the Washington chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations and Workers Strike Back came together for the protest. They say Mohammed Zahid Chowdhury, who was previously a Yakima resident and had at one time applied to be a reserve Yakima Police Department officer, had allegedly used false documentation. He was taken into ICE custody during a citizenship interview this week. We've reached out to ICE and the Department of Homeland Security for more information, but haven't heard back. A Dayton woman won a $20,000 settlement after filing a civil lawsuit that a member of the city council blocked her and others from viewing a public Facebook page. According to court documents, Teresa Ayer's civil suit claimed council member Laura Ackerman's decision to block Ayer and others from the page Laura Ackerman Dayton City Council violated the First Amendment. The suit also claimed Ackerman's decision to delete the page without preserving its records violated Washington State's Public Records Act. Dayton's attorneys argued Ackerman's Facebook page was a personal one and that the city was not involved with it. A new support group for individuals who have lost loved ones to overdose or substance use disorder is set to begin on September 9th in Yakima. The group will meet monthly for 6 sessions, providing a safe space for attendees to connect and share their grief without the stigma often associated with addiction. And they will meet at Wellness House, 6006 Summit View Avenue in Yakima. All of the details are up on our website, KIMATV.com. The Kittitas County Public Health Department is offering free back-to-school vaccines for children ages 4 to 18. The next clinic will be held tomorrow from 5 to 7 p.m. at Walter Strahm Middle School in Cle Elum. No insurance or sign-up is needed. Just show up with a parent or guardian. The vaccines include MMR, Tdap, polio, hepatitis A and B, and more. If you have any questions, you can contact the health department. And with students beginning to head back to the classroom, schools across Washington are implementing stricter guidelines when it comes to cell phone use. Here in the Tri-Cities, the Richland and Pasco school districts are using similar policies for this upcoming school year as last year, prohibiting cell phone use for students during class time, with the exception of those who have a medical condition. The Kennewick School District, meanwhile, has had a policy in place since 2022 restricting all students from accessing or using their phone unless permission is given by a teacher. Now, at least 31 states and Washington, D.C. require school districts to restrict students' phone use in schools in one form or another. As of this school year, 75% of Washington state school districts have cell phone restrictions in place. And all K-12 classes in the Mabton School District were canceled yesterday due to continued problems with the cooling system at the middle and high school building. The closure affected all grades and campuses. To make up for the missed day, though, students are now scheduled to attend school on Friday, February 13th, which had been set aside as a snow makeup day. The district apologized for the inconvenience and stated that the health and safety of students and staff remain their top priority, given the unsafe temperatures in some of those classrooms. And with that, let's jump right over to meteorologist Jefferson Donovan to talk the weather for today. Jefferson, temperatures on the high end again today, unseasonably high. I feel like that's kind of where we're at this week. Yeah, another very hot day around the forecast area on this Tuesday. Not quite as hot as yesterday, but still very warm around the forecast area. We should be in the 80s and low 90s around this time, but instead we are once again going to be looking at mid to maybe upper 90s in some cases. Here's a look at the temperatures you can expect for this Tuesday. Mid to upper 90s for the Tri-Cities today. Highs will likely peak in the mid 90s for the Yakima Valley this afternoon. Low to mid 90s in the Kittitas Valley today, with low to mid 90s as well for the Blue Mountain foothills. Now, in terms of cloud cover today, we are going to be looking at clouds and haze overhead and maybe even a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms. But first, let's speak to the haze and smoke concerns before we dive deeper into those shower and thunderstorm opportunities. Through today, through this afternoon, you can certainly see haze and smoke is going to be prevalent around the inland northwest. Unfortunately, towards the end of August and the start of September, that is really just kind of prime time for smoke season. And that is certainly verifying this year, as we do have fires burning in Washington, Idaho, Oregon, and even up to Canada, all having an impact on our air quality. So you should anticipate periods of moderate air quality today. We've seen moderate air quality this morning at the time of this recording, and I would not be too surprised to see moderate air quality continue, not only for today, but for the next several days thereafter. Now let's talk about the shower and thunderstorm chances as we go throughout this Tuesday. Spotty showers and thunderstorms are going to be
be possible around the region. We've already seen some showers pass through this morning, and again, we will hold on to that possibility of spotty showers and thunderstorms throughout the day on this Tuesday. Going into tomorrow, there's going to be a much better chance of showers and thunderstorms around a majority of the viewing area. That's going to be true tomorrow morning as well as tomorrow afternoon. And then as we go into Thursday, most precipitation will be pushing off to the east, although I'm not totally discounting a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms for Walla Walla and Columbia counties tomorrow. And then, this is for Thursday, not totally discounting that slight chance of showers and thunderstorms on Thursday for Columbia County and eastern Walla Walla County, including Walla Walla. Also on Thursday, even though the Storm Tracker Futurecast is not necessarily picking it up, I believe there will be a chance of showers and thunderstorms on Thursday for the Cascades, and can't rule out some of those cells leaking into the Kittitas Valley too. Now, as we take a look at your next 2 days after today in terms of temperatures, we've already talked about the widespread shower and thunderstorm possibilities on Wednesday. High temperatures for tomorrow will be climbing into the upper 80s to low 90s. On Thursday, most of us will be calming down again, maybe some of those lingering thunderstorms still in parts of our viewing area, but even for you folks, we should be mostly calm. High temperatures on Thursday, as you can see, again in the 80s and low 90s. Right now, I'm going to toss it back over to Dave.
Thanks, Jefferson. The National Integrated Drought Information System hosted a web seminar yesterday to discuss the current drought in the Pacific Northwest. The 2025 drought in the region is one of the worst we have seen here in over 50 years. Several officials from across the region provided causes of this extraordinarily dry season. KIMA's Aiden Connor was at the seminar and picks up the story from there.
The 2025 drought throughout the Pacific Northwest region has been a historic one. Currently, according to the United States Drought Monitor, about 81% of the Pacific Northwest is in a drought.
And then the large swath of Washington, including the Cascades and into eastern Washington and parts of the Olympic Peninsula, have a drought emergency declaration. And then a large swath of areas around the Puget Sound, including Seattle, Tacoma, and Olympia, have a drought advisory currently.
The cause of the historic drought is no mystery.
Essentially, it's a lack of precipitation since early April that has driven a lot of the droughts. Over the last 90 days, this just shows a map of the percent normal of precipitation. And the warm colors are drier than normal or less precipitation than normal. And then the green colors are more or wetter conditions than normal.
A weather event from the middle of August brought over some moisture, but was short-lived.
So we also had this atmospheric river event in mid-August, about a week or two ago. And this is just kind of a nice picture of it. So an atmospheric river is nothing more than a cold front with a lot of moisture transport into it. And we did get some really beneficial rain from that throughout western Oregon and Washington, especially Washington.
The water supply numbers from the Bureau of Reclamation have continued to drop every month, and the beginning of August saw a significant low.
We actually ended up on August 7th with a reduction down to a 40% supply. Those late drops really have a significant impact on fish and farms.
Water systems typically shut down in October, but shut down 2 months early due to conservation work preparing for this year's drought.
KIMA's Aiden Connor, thank you. And this year's drought marks the third consecutive drought year and is said to be the third worst drought since 1971. The Bureau of Reclamation looks to focus on building what they call a climate resilient system to combat the drought. Switching gears, a decades-long program assisting thousands of senior citizens in our community is changing hands come September. Healthy Ages, which has been operated by Cadillac since 1981, will now be operated by the local nonprofit Senior Life Resources Northwest. Leaders tell us the transition will be seamless and will continue to provide benefits like Medicare education, mall walkers, end of life, and monthly wellness checks.
I feel that I was on the same wavelength when I was fearing that our community was going to lose out on these great resources. And I just felt so happy that it worked out this way.
Now, the transition will be complete by September 5th. With the addition, Senior Life Resources will head Mid-Columbia Meals on Wheels and home care services. Yakima Valley Tourism is launching a new Certified Tourism Ambassador program. Participants will learn about local attractions, customer service, and tourism resources, as well as earn an official CTA status and be given a lapel pin. Ambassadors can also gain access to exclusive tours and events.
The main goal of the program is to help train frontline employees to be better at their job and to help educate and inform the public about what wonderful things we have for the community, as well as to deal with difficult situations. And the benefit for Yakima and the whole valley will be a better trained workforce in that regard. Can help get people stay longer and recommend coming to visit the Yakima Valley.
Now, to prepare for the launch of the Ambassador Program, a small group will take part in a field test on September 3rd and then give feedback before the program officially rolls out. On to some traffic alerts for folks this morning. Work could resume as early as today on a major road improvement project in West Richland. The State Route 224 Red Mountain Vicinity project continues to be delayed due to a strike by members of Operating Engineers Local 302. But according to a recent city news release, the contractor schedule says workers are anticipated to return today. The project has been on hold since it kicked off earlier this month. Multiple attempts to contact union leaders were made by KEPR to verify the information, but were not returned. The project, which is expected to take nearly 18 months to complete, will upgrade more than 3 miles of the highway, adding 5 new roundabouts to improve safety, connectivity, and mobility. And finally, check this out, guys. Benton County Sheriff's deputies helped a boy who had a problem with his bike over the weekend. They posted this picture near a skate park, and they say the brakes on the boy's bike weren't working very well, which caused him to take a tumble. The responding deputy thought it would be a good time to dip into that Benton County Sheriff Foundation Fund and use some of the money from that foundation to buy the boy a brand new bike with working brakes included. And that does it for us. Thank you for watching this episode of KEPR Quick. For more local news and weather, you can head over to our websites, KEPR and KIMATV.com, as well as our Facebook pages. But while you're here, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep up with our latest mini newscasts Monday through Friday. Have a terrific Tuesday, everybody.